episode of Street Fighter 3. Prepare for battle.
One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge things. See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes. You're on the way to choose your type of life cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch, spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you backflip. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge things. See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes. You're on the way to choose your type of life cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch, spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you backflip. Select to make your first pick.
Hey, what's up, guys? Every gamer knows the screen game over, right? Well, what do? Try again? But what if failure isn't the game telling you to stop? What if it's the game teaching you how to continue? The missed jump shows you the distance, the lost match exposes the weakness, the failed boss attempts reveals the pattern. But when you respond, you don't come back empty-handed. You come back with knowledge. Tonight, we're talking about why failure isn't always at the end of the experience. Sometimes failure is the mechanic. Welcome to Gamer Quotient Gaming Academy. Class 83 is now in session. Oh, sorry. To have a video there, but I guess I don't know what happened to that. That was really weird. Okay, well, that is interesting. It kind of just disappeared. All right, but hey, welcome, guys. Good evening, class, and welcome to Gamer Quotient Gaming Academy, the show where we teach the craft, not the hype, and explore what games can teach beyond the screen. I'm your headmaster, GQAzndood, and joining me here tonight are the members of our Gaming Academy here, as you see over here, as well, Blazing Ace Nelson, Oliver Campbell, the Watchdog. Nick is out for tonight, being the best dad America can afford. Now, tonight's class is going to be called Failure as a Mechanic. Now, failure is something every gamer understands. We miss jumps, we lose matches, we waste healing items, we choose the wrong build sometimes. Well, sometimes we get greedy during the last phase of the boss fight. I know I do. I try to want to finish it off as quickly as possible. And suddenly, we're staring at a game over screen wondering what the heck just happened. Now, but good games don't always use failure as punishment. Sometimes failure is actually feedback for yourself, right? Now, how can we use this same failure in gaming and translate that to real life? But tonight, the game is showing us what we haven't learned yet. It teaches us the arena, reveals the attack patterns, tests our timing, and forces us to become more patient, observant, and of course, intentional. That's the lesson we'll be exploring tonight. Failure doesn't automatically make us better. We improve when we stop, study what happened, and adjust the next attempt. Now, we'll also catch up on the latest gaming news tonight and the industry rumors with Quick Bytes and Rumor Mill with Oliver. We're running an audible for you guys, and revisit the past with Memory Card Chronicles with Ace. Then, when it's time to face tonight's final boss, we'll ask how the lessons games teach us about failure can help us handle setbacks beyond the screen. So settle in, guys, join the conversation, and think about this question. What game taught you the most by allowing you to fail? Let's level up together. Welcome to Class 83, and let's get your faculty members in the room because I'm ringing the bell. Here we go. Here we go. All right, gents, what is going on? How has your week been?
Oh, the week has been, at least on my end, week's been pretty interesting, especially over the course of today.
Okay.
It's it was one of those things where like especially over the last few days, I've been slowly stepping away from, if nothing else, streaming as much on the PS5 as I used to, largely because of current events.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You can just say because Sony acting up.
Sony's acting fucking stupid.
Acting up.
It is not a secret.
But yeah, it's given me an opportunity to actually, it's given me an opportunity and kind of redirected my path more towards looking at stuff I've got in the backlog, not just on older systems, but also stuff I've got on Steam. So I've been jumping back into stuff like Ovis Loop. I actually thought about trying to get back into Dungeon Fighter, but needless to say that.
Wow, that was really delayed. That's funny.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway, what the heck?
Hello, technical difficulties.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was great.
Just trying to tell me to shut up, but I wasn't done yet.
You said Ovis Loop, and it was like, nope, intro.
Right? He said, Ba Ram, nope. But aside from that, though, I also, finally decided on, expanding my arsenal of emulated games and finally decided to crack into Xbox 360 emulation. And oh boy, did that lead me to some awesome stuff.
Is 360 emulation easier or harder than PS3 emulation?
I would imagine that PS3 is harder. I mean, people have talked about that cell processor for a long time.
Yeah, no, 360 emulation is from what I have played and from what I've seen as far as like messing around with the settings, it's a good step easier. Especially since it's already running on a Microsoft framework.
I was gonna say that, yeah, the architecture is like basically an AMD chip. So it's
I'll put it to you this way. Xbox emulation, not only can you immediately it's got the architecture where you can just go ahead and if you don't already have one, you can literally just create an Xbox Live account real quick in the emulator.
What? Oh, that's crazy. That's weird.
And any Xbox Live games that you decide you want to pick up, 2 clicks, and it goes from trial mode to full game unlocked.
Wow.
Hence how I was able to start ripping and running big time on Guardian Heroes earlier.
I'm like trying to think about how that works.
Right? You're trying to parse it.
Yeah, I'm trying to
parse it. I mean, I caught a couple of minutes of it. I mean, it looks smooth.
It looks good. It looks good. It looks good.
I was like, what's he doing over there?
Yeah, I saw him playing 99 Nights, and he had the same problem I did when I was playing it. And the health bar was always low. Whatever bumper. So, and no mid save point. That was the other problem with that game. It was just like you either finished a stage or you didn't. So
right.
All right.
But that's where the grind comes in. How was
your week?
Well, let me just start here. What have I done in a week? I just broke this down for my wife, and she was like, "We are in trouble." I'm like, "Yeah, we're in trouble." In this week, I developed, patched, and released 1.0 version of a video game for the very first time in my life. I wrote a 10-track music album that is full of the most nonsensical man-style comedy you could think of. And I made 2 separate music videos for my 2 favorite tracks on that album. So let's see, how many products did I ship? About 13. Yeah. It's like,
It's like,
oh, that must have taken forever. No, it took a couple hours. So I've been having a good one. I basically didn't play any games
Of
in
course
this
you didn't.
Same.
week.
Of course you didn't play any games. You pushed one.
Man, I pushed the game, right? I'm like, I'm a little busy right now,
Yeah.
right? And continue to build on it and everything. So for people who don't know, you can go play that. It is free. It's a free game, right? And it's got nice handle click to donate button right on the title screen, as well as anytime you jump into the menus. But the game is called Paper Planes, and all I wanted to do with it was I wanted to invoke a basic sense of childhood, and how when you learned how to make a paper plane, that was probably one of the coolest moments of your life, right? Where just take just some paper and make it into a shape, and next thing you know, it's flying, right? It's breaking the rules. It's doing things that we can't do. It's so much easier to go down than it is to go up. Let's put it that way. Going up in the air is way harder than being down on the ground, and we defy that. And so I wanted to give people a sense of serenity and a sense of calm in a time and in a world where everything is topsy turvy. The up tries to convince you that it's down, down tries to convince you it's up, left pretends it's right, right pretends it's left, and all this. And I wanted no messaging. I wanted no nonsense. I wanted this is nice, right? That's what I wanted for people to play it. So you got a nice big wide open field. You got time of day changes. You got cityscapes. You got updrafts. This isn't Pilot Wings. I'm not. I don't hate kids that much.
But
No, if you try to play Pilot, that game fucking ruins your entire life,
right.
man. I was like,
But dude,
Pilot Wings.
honestly, Paper Planes is legitimately one of the it is one of the most chill experiences I have laid hands on in recent memory.
Paper,
and I keep
that
building
game
on it.
reminded me of, like, remember that game Flow? Was that Flow? Or Flower, where it was just like you're sailing through the air, right? So it kind of gave me that vibe when I was playing it. Just like, and you mentioned it perfectly, like serene. It's just very calming, type of game. I don't remember. Does it have music?
Yes.
And you
Yes.
you also composed that, I'm assuming, too.
Yes.
See, what did you guys do last week?
we had placeholder music, and I just patched in music that I composed yesterday.
There you go.
Right, so it's right in there. It's beautiful. That's all I can say. It's beautiful. I've added so many achievements to the game, so there's actually things to do, and there's a couple of tiny little jokes. Contrary to popular belief, there is not one biome. There are 3, and you need to go find them. Right?
Nice.
So just because of what you see there, nope. And you can definitely go to those biomes, and brand new and exciting things happen there. I gave cryptic hints on about how to pop some of those achievements and whatnot on X, and a couple of people got them right if they thought hard enough, right? But this is basically how it works. And my wife is like, "Oh my god, I'm so proud of you." I was like, "No, this is me not trying." She's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, no, this is just an experiment. This is to see what I could do, right? This is bottom floor of what I can actually do. So, hold on to your butts. When this thing goes 88 miles an hour, y'all are about to see some serious shit out of it."
Man, you just quoted like 3 movies without everybody even knowing it.
Hey, there's Jurassic Park.
Just quoted 3 movies and also gave a hint to one of the achievements.
There you go.
See, there you go. There's Jurassic Park. There's Back to the Future.
Spoilers.
like, use your fucking brains.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's been busy all week. Yeah,
I've been
creating.
busy. I've been cooking. So, what version am I on? I think I'm on version 1.3. And can you actually just pull that up for people? Yes,
What?
this is me asking for a shill for myself. Can you actually go ahead and pull the game up?
Link here.
I mean, it is just a browser, so I don't know how it's gonna work on stream, but people can actually get to see it. Yeah, I wonder if this is gonna work. This will
No, it's just a share screen. It should be okay.
Yeah, it should just be a share screen. I wonder if it's gonna grab the music as well, or I don't
Only one
know.
way to find out.
Right? Instead of talking about it, it's like actually show people.
Show and tell.
There you go.
Do you already have it up, Ace?
I
got it.
Give me a tick.
Because one of the things I actually wanted to do was I wanted to do a post-mortem on the design for this, just so people could kind of understand, like, do we want to take the time to do that?
We're getting the music, but we weren't quite getting your mic.
You can't hear me?
But
Oh, now we can.
I wasn't talking.
okay, so you're getting me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. No, I'm just saying, can you hear the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
So just to kind of show people the differences here with 1.3, well, first and foremost, all your time of day transitions are better. This is all running in a browser. You download nothing, right? But it does keep your save localized, so in case you want to start over, get new achievements or do whatever, you totally can do that. All of this is actually rendered with its own assets. I wanted to see what it could actually produce on its own without me helping it, right? Like, I was intentionally withholding on certain, assets and things like this. So the only true assets that I've uploaded into the game were some basic textures for the plane and the music, and the rest of this is just literally generated by the system. It's not perfect, of course not, but again, this is real, hey, test these ideas and see what it does and how it goes about doing that. The biggest thing was adding in the additional biomes. Crashed his ass off. But again, just mechanically, there's just little things to go see and do all over the map. The updrafts obviously work. Relying on the feedback of people who actually played it, I would say, is probably really, really one of the most important things. Just because people are having more people actually getting there and test it and play around with it, they might see bugs that just literally aren't showing up on my end as the developer, right? Where I'm like, I don't know how to reproduce that, or show me exactly what you did, or even then.
Have you tried it on mobile?
Oh, yeah, no, this works. You can pick this up and play it on your phone, on a tablet. It doesn't matter. That's why all those buttons are on the screen. It is perfectly set up. My wife plays on her iPad. I even had an interesting bug come up where someone's like, I can't get the game to load. And I was like, okay, tell me what your hardware you're running on. And they're like, oh, a 9th gen iPad. I'm like, okay, that's a little older, right? But then we got in and started diagnosing it. And while we were looking at the problem, I went in and I said to the AI, I said, hey, I want you to run a full simulation of this game for a 9th generation iPad running in Safari on iOS 16. It did, and it said, this shit is going to go terribly. And I was like, are you on iOS 16, man? And he's like, yeah, I am on iOS 16. I was like, update you damn iOS. I'm like, iOS 16 came out in 2022. I'm like,
and I thought
4 years without updating?
Someday.
But we sorted it out, and so this is just the first of things to come. I put up a couple of images of what I'm actually working on. In fact, let me just grab a link. It's like oh hey, oh we see that game kind of looks bad. It's like, well, yes, it's literally using built-in assets. Let me show you what I can actually do. I'll get the tweet link, and I'll just put
Pop
that
it in
in.
the chat.
I'll pop it in the damn chat. That way you can show people like, oh, this is what you can actually do. It's like, yes.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah, pop that up. Pop that up, big boss.
There we go. It there.
That's what I can actually do. Right? That's easy. The paper planes, it was very easy, and it was mostly a learning experience. And the reason I took the time to talk about it is that I wanted people to come to understand I still, even though I used AI agents to build this, the amount of work I still have to do is extensive. Like, and I think people don't get that. Like, every time people see AI images, oh, it's just a prompt. That's not how any of this works. Like, that's not just, no, that's not how any of this works. See, what happens is I'm the art director. I'm not drawing the art day in, day out, over and over, but I am controlling the direction that the art is going, right? I'm not down there in the mud, in the trenches, coding and drinking 87 Red Bulls. I'm not. However, I am the programming director. And I'm going, this isn't right, right? And we need to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the game director. I'm controlling the flow of the game and what the flow of the experience is, right? I'm wearing all these separate hats at once. I am QA. I have to sit down and go, what's a crazy person going to do? Right? With my game. Not what I want you to do, but what is the most off kilter nonsense that someone's going to do? So I have to take on all of these jobs simultaneously. And even more importantly, I have to understand when it sucks. Listen, let me break it down to you like this. When I put in that little beach and added that beach biome, I was like, yeah, and add some like palm trees and shit. The AI had a very hard time understanding what a palm tree is. So I got a brown stick with a green stick coming off of it. So I was like, okay. And I just kind of left it be and all that. I was like, yeah, here's a new build, blah, 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 blah. And I caught grief from a 7-year-old over my fucked up palm trees. She's like, that shit ain't right, man. And I'm like, I'm catching fucking heat. I'm catching the 3rd degree from a child because the palm trees ain't palm tree enough. So I sat down for like a half hour and sorted through the palm tree problem. And then I was like, and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that looks better. I pushed the tree. And then I reached out to my homie. I was like, tell your daughter I fixed the damn trees. And she was like, thank you. I was like, this is fucked up, man. I'm over here getting grilled by children over this. Over I'm getting grilled over a new frontier. Right? This is kind of the point. This is a new frontier. We've never had tools like this ever before in history. I was just telling Ace, it's like Ace has been working on a game for well over a decade. And I get in here and I experiment with this stuff and I'm going, no, all the tools to do what you're trying to do are now here. That it's happened. We're here. If I wanted to make a Gaming Academy game, I could do that in 3 days.
I was about to say, why not build a Gaming Academy game that plays like Guardian Heroes?
Like I can make this game, and 3 is on the outside. Like, but playable, workable, buildable build. No, it's a few hours at worst. Like the better your game design document is going in to start, the better it is. I busted out my old college textbooks to give you guys an example. I'm like, right, like I need to understand this, this, this. I'm digging into theory, like no game development essentials and all this other stuff. People forget that. I went to school for this, so when I go, yeah, that game is fucked up, man, and people get mad at me, I'm like, no, like yeah, no, it's like this is a bad game. Paper Planes isn't a good game. It's a game you can enjoy, and I think those two things are good. right? So anyway, the point that I'm making is, you know, it was fun. It was really fun to do it. It was fun to learn more about aeronautics and aerodynamics and how those things work. It was
Mhm.
so fun to take away those rules too, um, and just damn the man. We do whatever we want with this paper plane. Psst, you can go into the ocean and also go to space. Like, but
Huh.
they maintain integrity. The plane still flies regardless, but they do actually act like their environments too. So I can have contradictory rules and things like that. And it's just really, really fun, and it was enjoyable to do, especially to be able to go. I always wanted to make a game when I was a little boy. It's been almost half a century wanting this, and this week I accomplished that goal. Right? Whether it's good or bad to people, I don't think I really fucking care all that much. I'm really glad that people enjoy it. Yes. What I'm saying is the biggest validation is I got to fulfill that kid's dream. If I go back in time and have to talk to that kid that wants to make video games, he knows he wants to make video games, I can go back and tell him, we did it. It got done. And that's incredible. So all I'm saying is times change, tools change. Don't hamstring yourself out of some weird misguided principle, right? At the end of the day, it's still you. You didn't make the AI did it. No, I had to think of it. And then I had to decide what is right and what is wrong. I had to craft the direction of that to match my internal vision. I just had help. It's like, back in the day, Little House on the Prairie, they used to build fucking log cabins with some pretty rudimentary tools. And if you were to take one of those homies and send them forward in time and be like, yeah, we got reciprocating saws and shit now, he's going to call you a fucking cheater.
Hmm.
You'd be like, oh, you got a table saw? Yeah, they didn't have no shit like that. Like, no, 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 no. They're going to tell you you're fucking cheating, right? They're going to say all that stuff. So it's like, don't worry about it. If this tool can get you closer to the thing that you want, I say go for it. And it was a really fun experience because I'll tell you this: when the Terminators show up, they ain't shooting me. They can shoot all. When Skynet comes live, you'd be like, "Hey, that guy's cool. He was all right." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I'm like, "Did you like the paper planes?" It's like, imagine that having a Terminator come up on you and go, "That paper plane game was great, dog." I'm like, "You're welcome."
I
Like,
learned how to fly paper planes thanks to you.
Look, that's all I'm shooting for. I'm trying to survive the fucking Skynet apocalypse. You're dicking around.
I like how the
You know,
Terminator still sound like Arnold. That's funny.
they all do. They
That'd be
know.
great.
Get
All
in
right.
there,
Well,
mess around, have fun. I also built another tool. I didn't even mention that. I forgot about that. Tell me, gentlemen, how did the live stream multi-view work for you?
That.
I liked it. It worked.
Since I talk so long, you guys explain the tool.
Go ahead, Ace.
So the live stream multiplayer that Oliver put together is devastatingly simple on its surface because you've got 4 screens, you've got 4 windows, and
Can
you've
we
got
bring that up? Yeah, yeah. Let's bring that up so they can actually see it.
Give me a quick second. Let me go ahead and see if I can put the new tab for that. Oh God, I thought I had it.
I hope the scary intro doesn't happen again. It already scared us last time. It was late. It jump scared us like Jigsaw.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull it up from here.
There you go.
There we go. Live stream multi-view. That's the one.
Okay. So, but yeah, this is the tool. Go ahead.
So yeah, like I was saying though, you've got 4 screens, and literally all you got to do is in the like in that spot near the bottom where our rather handsome faces are currently, acting like a censor bar over it. All you got to do is just put in the URLs for whichever 4 streams you want to actually watch at the same time. So let's say if you've got me, Oliver, the headmaster, and I don't know if Andre wants to join us, and all 4 of us are getting in on Monster Hunter. If we're all in the same party and you want to see the same hunt from each of our different perspectives, this is what you pull up. And it even has options like, say, if everyone is streaming from the same game, or say from the same session in the same game, it even has options to sync up the footage and sync up the streams.
Yep. I specifically designed this in a way. Now, the bad news is that because basically what I've done is I've made a container here for 4 embeds, right? So you can take YouTube, you can take Twitch, and drop the URL of that, and it's going to convert that into the embed code that you normally use when you want to embed a stream on a page or whatever. Well, now it does that 4 times. Then, if you're using YouTube, right? So if it's for YouTube streams, it will constantly try to sync the videos together to make sure that they're lined up. So even if say, for example, A started streaming and then I started streaming, and it's actually checks for the content that's on screen to try to help with relativity. And so it'll slow one stream down or speed another up in order to get them lined up. And you can simultaneously pause all videos at once and start them all at the exact same time so that they're always perfectly in sync so you don't miss anything. This took me 20 minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it took 20 minutes to put all that together. It's super easy. I was like, oh, okay. And it's like, how'd you do it? I told it what to do. I have not written a single line of code. Not at all. This is like scripting in RPG Maker. Tell it what you want, and it's going to give you exactly what you want. That's it. Right? So and that, now, I don't think everyone knows. All of these things that I've described to you, these are free. You want to play, Paper Planes? Just go to the link. It's free. Right? If you want to use the live stream multi-view tool, it's free. Just go there, jam in whatever your streams are, kick back and fucking relax, and, watch your shows like you normally do. Right? It does not require anything. There's no logging in. There's no weird biometrics. There's no screening. There's nothing.
There's no
it's
forced accounts or launchers. It's just a browser.
Right? You don't need anything to use it. Just use it on whatever device you have. It will automatically resize itself. This is all of them. It will resize itself accordingly to match the device that you're using. It will detect, oh, hey, is this a tablet, or is this a phone screen, or is this actually on a PC? One of the things with Paper Planes that came really early was I made sure that there were touch controls built in, mouse and keyboard controls built in. There's, out of the box, Xbox controller support and 8-bit DOS support. Right? If enough people come complaining to me about, oh, I want to use a PlayStation controller. Okay, well, I can patch that. It takes literally 3 minutes to do. Right? And, of course, you can remap all the controls to whatever the hell you want. So I've already got one up on the AAA gaming industry. Like, what do you have? When can you do that we can't? I let motherfuckers just rebind shit however they want.
What can you do that we can't?
Customer service. I can push on a build faster than you.
The big issue with that is because they have too much red tape. When we're hearing 14 layers of management, that's just.
I I literally said that to my wife. No, you're 100% right. I said, I don't have any bureaucracy to go through.
Yeah.
If I make a decision, the decision's made, and then I go and implement on it. And if it doesn't fucking work, then it doesn't work. Like, it's like, oh, it doesn't work. I can even ask it, hey, this isn't working the way that I intended. Let's stop, diagnose, create a note, find out what happened, why is it not matching this implementation, offer suggestions on what could repair that problem, and then we'll proceed from there. So no, I've got literally, essentially, a whole production team at my fingertips, waiting for me to make the fucking call. It's great.
And people hate that.
They hate that. People hate this one simple trick. I'm like, fuck you. I'm
hate
gonna go
that.
hang out with Skynet. Woo, boy, I'm gonna live forever inside of Skynet, and you're gonna be stuck with me.
It's interesting how people just overall get upset about AI because, like, I understand why, right? The simple fact that you just get offended by it. But like through the history of mankind, like if you showed somebody that's chopping wood, right, with an axe, and they're like, "Here you go, buddy. Here's a chainsaw," they're not going to be like, "No, I like my axe." Like, no, this is going to make your job easier. So it's like I never understood the whole like that whole being upset about that to make to create something and make it easier. And I get it for art. Art's the big one. That's been kind of like on the chopping block, but like if you think about it, it's the whole point I'm trying to make here is that the same people that are saying, hey, AI is taking my job away, they're using tools that fed into teaching that AI, and they were okay with that when they were using the tools. Now the tools are done and they're not needed anymore. Now they're upset. So it's almost like I said this on the headmaster's desk last week, where like I said, well, I gave you guys the numbers, and man, I don't know if you guys saw that episode. I think Andre was there. I said the number of the amount of revenue for physical copies was around $784 million for Sony, right? The digital revenue, 1.4 billion digital revenue, and I was like, guys, this is why they're taking physical away. Like, we did this. Now, I wasn't trying to like champion digital, but I'm saying that's the facts, and us buying digital games that don't have physical copies contributed to that as well. So it's not like it's not by accident. We contributed to that. So anyway,
yeah, I mean that's factually true. If they don't make a print copy of that, then you're up the river. Darkest Dungeon didn't have a physical for the longest time.
Correct.
Right? Or Enter the Gungeon didn't have a physical for the longest time, and it was really hard to get your hands on it. Like Curse to Golf, which is a favorite of mine from the past few years.
Super rare.
Yeah, super rare, super hard to fucking get. I wanted it for the PS4 or PS5. They didn't have one. I had to get it for the Switch, but I'm like, it's better to have it for the Switch than to not have it at all.
Correct.
Like, so this is exactly what he means. Like, unfortunately, this was the only way or distribution method for those smaller guys, right? They don't have the money to do this shit, right? So they're trying to get it out to you however they can, and it kind of helped walk us into this situation, right? It contributed in a major way. I mean, I just kind of put
that episode on like, chat, like we got to take accountability. Like, we did this too. We contribute to that. It's clearly there's 500 more million sales in digital, right? And for X reason. You can't sit here and tell me you didn't buy a digital game, like, because you didn't want to play it, or you bought it because you want to play it and it's convenient. That's the truth, right? And I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying we got to be accountable for what the numbers are, because the numbers are the numbers regardless. So, and they're just feeding off our actions, that what they call it, financial activity is what they called it in the article. So anyway, that was the news last week. What's the news for this week, Oliver, since you'll be taking over for Nick. So here we go with some quick points.
So because niggas out there being dad of the year, I decided that I was going to go ahead and step in and do quick bites for him this week. And let's see how fast I can do them. How quick can I be quick about these bites? I don't know. But quick bites and Rumor Mill is the Gaming Academy's rapid rapid fire roundup of the biggest stories, updates, and whispers in the gaming world from this last week. Because an informed gamer can actually understand what the heck is happening in the industry and how we can play with more intention. So, as of today, Electronic Arts has become a private company for the first time since 1990. The gaming developer was officially bought for $55 billion by a group including Silver Lake Affinity Partners and the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. Time will tell how that all plays out. Nvidia has decided to raise prices on its graphic cards once again, citing the continued DRAM shortage. This marks the third time this year that they have raised prices, and reports are detailing a potential 20 to 30% increase. PlayStation has announced via their blog that Crimson Moon, the gothic action-adventure RPG being developed by the team at Probably Monsters, has an official release date of September 1st, 2026. During their latest dev vision, Marvel Rivals revealed that the Hood is confirmed to be the next hero to join the game's roster. He is joining the ranks as a Vanguard. After actor Ryan Hurst was injured during filming, Amazon Prime's God of War series is in talks with actor and former WWE wrestler Dave Bautista, known for roles like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. So what do you guys think of that casting? Can you pull it off?
Dave Bautista wasn't on my bingo card for Kratos ever. I don't know. The guy that they had before looked really good, looked the part. And I feel like there was so much more other contenders out there for the role of Kratos. But that's just me in my first glance. He's just fucking Drax, man. I can't unsee it anymore.
That's fair.
For me, I looked at it and I understand why people are sad about the Ryan Hurst thing, because Ryan Hurst, he played Thor in God of War Ragnarok.
He knows the character.
So he knows the character. He actually understands the material. You don't have to go, okay, now you got to learn all this and understand this myth. No, he's like, I was there, Gandalf. Like, I was there when it was written, right? So to see that, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's a hard decision to make. But at the same time, I think Dave Bautista he's shown that he's multidisciplined, right? In that regard, he knows how to do drama, he knows how to do comedy.
He does. Yeah, he does.
He's obviously, it's very easy for him to be stacked. We watched him do it. He's a good yeller, and Kratos does a lot of yelling. Look, I bet most of the auditions are, how hard can you yell? He'd be like, pretty hard.
I was like, how hard can you yell? So do you want Drax?
Right.
Or do you want Dune?
Right. And it's like, oh, he's in Dune, right? And he's doing a lot of different stuff. So I'm interested. I want to see where it's going to go. I'd love to see their screen test for him. Right? I think that will be the thing that really tells.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
That's my thoughts on it too. Just the simple fact that, one of the big things that Batista wanted to do once he got into acting was to, dig into and expand his range, expand his tool set as much as he could. So he's taken on drama, he's taken on comedy, all this stuff to legitimately, broaden his horizons. And then when you come back to a character like Kratos, especially during the Norse saga, it focuses a lot more on those other facets of Kratos as a character. So this sounds like it's something that's definitely up Batista's alley. But we got to see the screen tests. We got to see the proof of concept.
As I say, give him a chance to disappoint us first, right?
Bingo.
There you go. Moving on, Capcom held a Q&A with the director and producer of Dragon's Dogma 2 this last week, and they shared that new updates are coming to the game, including a hard mode and 60 FPS. Other tweaks will include quality of life stuff like additional save slots and new side quests in the Norgan region. So for Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, there's going to be a whole new region called Norgan. I have no clue what that means.
It's like, think of like the icy region. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, so Dragon's Dogma, Iceborne. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Like, you know what? It makes sense. Like, it's fine. Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier has released a new report detailing the inner workings of developer Lightspeed LA and their title, Last Sentinel. As a refresher, Last Sentinel was a pretty ambitious open-world action title likened to Cyberpunk 2077 and included talented voice actor Troy Baker. According to Jason, there is a word of 80 employees being laid off, as well as creative and development direction changes being made to shift the title to new expectations. 6 years and hundreds of millions of dollars have been likely thrown at this game, along with claims that executives at Tencent are not happy with the game's progress. While not publicly addressed by the companies involved, the consensus seems to be the game is likely ending up in the trash heap. As an aside, Paper Planes cost me $15 to make. Just saying. I'm like, well, you'd be like, it's kind of a shitty game. Yeah, what? You know what? I made you a whole game for less than the cost of a fucking combo meal at McDonald's. So what are you gonna do?
I talked about in the last week's Headmaster's Desk, and it was about, like, for example, they showed that one back the behind the scenes shot of, like, it was Jack Kirby, whatever his name is, like, as the cube. Like, why the fuck do they need him modeling that cube? He's just a voice, like. And also the ribbon, she was there doing mocap as well, and we're like, that costs money. Like, these are actors that cost money. So that we were
literally paid a man to be a Jello cube.
Yeah, and I was segueing into, like, think about the developers that we had like 20, 30 years ago, how much budget they had and what they had to work with. That limitation brought innovation because they had to work around and work with stuff with not a lot of budget. And look at the games that they made with that, right? And so I think, like, and so I was telling Chad, I was like, Chad, I think we have a problem with, like, we have too much money in the industry, and they're just throwing money at the problem, and talent is going away. And I also said, with no mercy and remorse, I said, I don't feel bad for the layoffs because they're all bad at their job. That's all I said about that. That's a headmaster speaking.
Yeah. So on the 31st, Mortal Shell had a complete console beta shadow drop. So if you're interested in the dark action RPG, you can check it out on PS5 and Series XS and see the opening hours of the game and snag a cosmetic reward for trying it. It is that time of year, friends. It's Q1, fiscal year 2026 reports. Some interesting details have emerged. First, on Sony's side, only 18% of software sales were physical media. That means 82% of software sales are digital for the company. Not surprised about their course of action now, huh? It was 83% this time last year, so this has been a thing for a while. PS5 hardware sales are down 36% from Q1 fiscal year 2025 reports. Next up, for the Xbox content services revenue declined 10% and hardware dropped 13% from the same time last year. According to CEO Asha Sharma, 3 Xbox franchises generate more than $1 billion in revenue each year, although she didn't say which 3. Sharma has also released a memo internally detailing the 4 C's of key priorities moving into the new fiscal year. Core, strengthen our platform led by console, content, grow and make great games into global franchises, creation, make Minecraft the world's leading creative platform, and connection, extend the worlds the fans love. Now, moving into the rumor mill, according to a news story from The Verge, a document leaked from Microsoft has shed light on some more details of Xbox games coming to PC. A week ago, Xbox confirmed that OG Xbox console games were coming to PC as part of their backwards compatibility program, full launch in this October. Now, though, this document says that developers of the Xbox 360 games can opt into making their games backward compatible and will give them control over pricing and Game Pass availability. That's nice. I like that. That's nice to hear. The report also points to suggestions that this will be a gradual rollout of these supported titles between 2027 and 2028. Before we're done with rumors and news, one last Xbox rumor for you boys. According to the reports by Windows Central's Jez Jordan, Xbox's disc-to-digital service is expected to be released this month. If you aren't familiar, remember that this service is designed to create digital licenses for disc-based games. For example, put in the disc, install the game, and load it. Voila, you have digital entitlement. A reliable insider in the LEGO world of things has posted on Reddit pointing to an Astrobot set being released October 1st alongside a PlayStation 1 set. The rumor points to Astrobot being a gift with purchase edition when buying the PS1 set, which is priced at $160 according to the leaked details. So that looks like we've got our news and rumor bits and quick bites for the week. What are the big takeaways for you guys on that one?
There's a big piece of information missing from that Jez Jordan's disc to digital service. I covered this in the last week's show, not on the headmaster's desk. The part that's missing is that once you put that in your Xbox for digital license, the disc is useless. That's pretty big.
Huh.
It locks
Don't
it
like
to
that.
it locks it to that console. It's no different than what it is now, but it
No,
locks
sir.
it to that console.
I don't like
Right?
it.
Now you can use the game without the disc, but your friends can no longer use this. You can no longer sell that disc anymore. So that's a big one they didn't talk about. That's pretty shasty.
No, sir. I don't like
go. Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta go back to Mr. Horse with that one. We gotta go all the way back to Ren and Stimpy. No, sir. I don't like it. Nope.
I want to share you guys the official release date trailer for Crimson Moon because I think our group here would appreciate that. Let's see here. GameStop wouldn't know on trade-in. Tragically, you just get banned from the store when they test it. Let's see here. So this is Crimson Moon from the game that was covered earlier, and I think our squad here could appreciate this game.
Damn.
$19.99, by the way, which is crazy.
Okay, that price point.
A lot of brutality for $20, boy.
We've got some customization.
And this is also a roguelike, I believe.
Brother.
Yeah.
Don't tease me.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
it-
listen. Stop. I can only get so erect. God damn. Ooh. They had everything in there. They had testosterone. The first shot was a dude getting split in half. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Now I know exactly what kind of game it is. It's like, all right, set them up. Let's play.
Yep.
We splitting people in two?
I'm in. Price is good. It was built for co-op. Like I think they have mechanics in there for multiplayer. You know, it's just like the stuff we talk about, the stuff like we love in this show. This game brought it up. So I might actually reach out to probably Monsters.
I'm gonna have to at the very. Wait, you know what? Let me pull up Steam right now. I'm gonna wish list that bad.
I'm just saying, I didn't know we were hitting them with the Samuel Clemens today, man. Now, for the people who aren't bright, Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, splitting them in twain. Keep up.
For those uneducated.
For the plebeians out there.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
that was a really shitty joke. I should never use that one again.
Boom.
It's too smart. It's too highbrow. It's the highest of brow.
Right.
Wish list.
It's too cerebral. It's too cerebral. You got to think about Samuel Clemens and Mark Twain, right?
All right. Well, that's this week's what do you call this? Man, I'm all off today. Quick bites. Ace, tell us how we're missing out on stuff and we need to be playing more games from the past.
Well, I mean, look, if I hadn't proved it earlier with my time with Guardian Heroes and in 399 Nights, yes, it is never a bad time to take a couple minutes to sit back, go through your backlog, and pick up something you ain't played in a couple of decades, because you never know. You might actually learn something new about your favorite games if you go at them with a set of fresh eyes. Much like what we do every week with This Week in Gaming History, Memory Card Chronicles.
Gotcha. Hold on. Wait,
And
that's the wrong one. Got him.
There we go. Music to my ears. Now, for the folks that are tuning in for the first time, or the folks that haven't been watching us for a while and might have forgotten, in Memory Card Chronicles, the faculty will be taking time. It's like we'll be taking the time to take the class on a trip through an entire week of gaming history. Each day of this current week features a game handpicked by one of the panelists, and together we revisit 7 days worth of legendary releases, seismic industry shifts, personal stories, and the memories that made gaming history unforgettable. This week, we're going to be covering August 2nd through the 8th. And, whoa, Nick, brother, I know you're sitting here in the chat, and you picked us a banger for October 2. So, who's actually going to be Oliver, are you going to be covering Nick's stuff?
Yeah, I'll cover Nick's for him because there's some good crossover between his on these. So
Well, then.
I know it'd do him justice.
Well,
so
then,
for Nick's
back to
Nick's
you,
pick-
Oliver.
Right, there you go, back to like thanks, Ace. So Nick's pick for the 2nd of August was an actual certified banger. Streets of Rage for the Genesis in 1991. So here's exactly what Nick wrote. One of the most influential side-scrolling games of all time and a banger soundtrack. This was the game and the sequel that made me fall in love with my Genesis back in the day. The sound chip for this game was pushed to the absolute limit, and honestly, having a distinct cast of characters and cooperative 2-player co-op filled multiple late nights with friends. This still lives rent-free in my head, and I look back on those nights fondly. You know, he's right. I mean, Streets of Rage really, really did set a type of standard. They deleted the fuck out of Adam, though.
They did. He was the coolest guy, too.
They deleted the shit out of Adam. They're like, Streets of Rage 2, oh, Adam got kidnapped. It's like, damn. And they were like, oh, he'll be back at Streets of Rage 3. He's not. He didn't come back till 4. Oh, that man had been kidnapped for like 30 years.
Speaking of Streets of Rage 4, I have it on good authority that before the end of support for Streets of Rage 4, there was still some DLC that was being worked up for it. So Estelle and Shiva weren't the only characters that were going to be added to the roster. They're, the artwork that we had seen for, potential looks for Skate. They were going to go further with that.
Huh. That's real neat because Skate's gonna be a quite the grown ass man.
Grown ass man in rollerblades.
Exactly. They're like, what the fuck are you on, man? Right? You're gonna throw people off.
So yeah, needless to say, if development for 4 had gone on a little bit longer, yeah, we would have seen Skate come back.
Attempt.
This is what
they did put in was amazing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean
everything.
They added the pixel art characters too, which is super cool.
The very characters you guys see on screen right now, they're playable just as they are.
Yeah,
just as they are. Like they basically don't expand on them any more than is necessary. So to keep it authentic, but you can play as basically every version of existing characters from Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. In addition to what Dadimu did with the new, generation of them. And it's terrific, but it all comes back to this first game, right? Mm-hmm. I would argue that they really, really got the genre moving in the right direction and literally defined what it means to be a beat 'em up, right? So hats the fuck off to you. Like, I'll never talk down to him.
I think we also got that before Final Fight for Super Nintendo because that came out before, and we didn't have any beat 'em ups. I think that was on Super yet before Final Fight came out. Because keep in mind, Final Fight was a launch title, so that was what you were eating. Streets of Rage 2. But speaking of beat 'em up, man, Ace, this is all you right here, bud.
Oof. Yes, sir. So August 3rd of 2000 was, at least as far as I'm concerned, a day that will forever live in infamy. But one that definitely changed the world and changed the gaming landscape, because today is the day that kickstarted Musou. The OG release of Shin Sangoku Musou, aka Dynasty Warriors 2, hit Japan August 3rd, 2000. It introduced the world to an evolution of the beat 'em up, and is even now seeing a resurgence with Dynasty Warriors Origins, and of course, an offshoot of that with the upcoming Attack on Titan 3. Whew. Now, look. To the surprise of no one here on the show or no one in the chat, I've spoken about this genre, and I've spoken about this game ad nauseum. But recently, during my Musou May streams, I actually, decided I wanted to go ahead and sit back down and actually, play and really start digging into Dynasty Warriors 2. And going back and playing that with fresh eyes, especially coming from Origins and from pretty much any recent Musou title, you can see that the foundation laid for everything that came afterward was already incredibly solid. Like, you could sit down and think, okay, if it was Dynasty Warriors 2 that they were going to be remastering, I can already tell what mechanics would be expanded on, how the visuals would be expanded on, if not just, touched up. But sitting down and playing this also really just brought back all of my memories of, sitting down with my brother and my cousins and playing Dynasty Warriors 3 for the first time. The various stages and characters that were used to, put me through my paces. That right there on the screen. Anyway, Dynasty Warriors 2. It's chunky. It's a little janky at this point, but just like with Streets of Rage, it set the standard, and everything from there was just an uphill climb.
My story with this is that this was my first PS2 game, right? Because this is a beat 'em up. Little old Fatty James here. This is a beat 'em up.
Did you say Fatty James?
Fatty James, yeah. Yeah. I forgot how old I was. Maybe I was like 14 or something.
Oh no! Hold on! Wait! Are you telling me you were the kid from Up?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I didn't go to camp though, or like a Boy Scout though.
Oh no!
I didn't go to camp, summer camp.
Oh, you're adorable. Oh, you're the cutest kid ever. Oh my god!
So I bought this not knowing that the PS1 memory card doesn't work with the PS2 memory card. So I basically bought it without a PS2 memory card. And brother, I was on this stage for a while. I played this stage over and over again until like a week later when we had to go went back, as parents worked. I had no car. And then we had to go back to Toys R Us. That's where I got it to get a memory card. But yeah, I just remember playing the stage a lot, having a lot of fun with it. PlayStation overheating because I never turned it off because I was on, the third stage, couldn't save. But yeah, just good memories, good times with Dynasty Warriors 2 for sure. It's what started it all.
What's amazing here is you can see the bones, right?
Oh yeah, it's bones, all right.
The bones here are so fucking good because it doesn't matter. Like we jump this far forward in time, and we're playing things like Berserk and Attack on Titan, as we mentioned, and any more modern Dynasty Warriors, like they've not deviated from this core structure this entire time. It's just more dudes, and can we make the terrain look cooler? Yes. Yep. All right, do that.
Not and flat.
They've stuck to the principles that made it what it is in the first place, and a lot of developers have problems with that, where they'll just like float off mark over time until it's like, then your existing fan base gets mad and goes, "This isn't what I fucking wanted." like, oh, well, we're trying to do something new and edgy. It's like, no, I don't want new and edgy. I want my Coke to taste like a Coke, right? If
Yeah.
I
I just
want the
want more
vanilla
Coke.
Coke, I'll buy the vanilla Coke, right?
And number one, that's why Dynasty Warriors Origins turned out as well as it did. And number two, that's also a big reason why I am very much looking forward to picking up Dynasty Warriors 3 Remastered when that hits in October.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice. It was nice to be able to actually, because I've never actually seen the original Dynasty Warriors 2, not the fighting game, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
I haven't gotten to see it, but just looking at it, I was like, no, I know all these elements. I knew exactly what I was looking at every moment. I was like, I did this in Fist of the North Star. Like, no, it's I go over there, whip this guy's ass, take over this location, right? So no more guys are spawning and beating your ass, and just slowly make your way through the map. Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, it's right there. There's the fruit.
What's
Right?
really
It's
refreshing about Dynasty Warriors from 2 all the way. What's the last PS2 one, Ace? Is it 5?
Well, technically 6.
6, right? I don't think they count 6 because I think it was more like a port. They focused it more on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
I think I would say 5.
So yeah,
if you look at the jump from 2 to 5, you can tell like these guys like got to learn the PlayStation 2 more and more throughout. Like the amount of people on the screen like multiplied over those games. And so
oh yeah.
And this is what I mean, chat. When I say, look, it's the same guys making the same game, but they mastered it now, and they're not getting any more money. They're using the same hardware. They just figured it out, and that's what we're missing these days. And we're, those are spoiled with that budget. So
now,
that's awesome.
Before we move on to the next day, just 2 really quick shout outs that I had, because apparently August 3rd is like apparently like the early portion of August is just like a marquee month, like a marquee set of weeks for video games. Also releasing on August 3rd, same year, mind you. So August 3rd, 2000 was a big day. Armored Core 2 on the PS2.
Good one.
And Grandia 2 on the Dreamcast.
Another good one. Some bangers.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of shit came out in this month. Like, even when I was looking at my days, I said, oh my God, everything happened this month. August is
everything happened before everyone went back to school.
Yeah. So, historically, summer's been the lowest for numbers for video games, which is weird, right? Because like they're ramping up for the holidays. That's what it's for, and they don't expect people to be home. They expect people to be outside, but that's why they have like weird summer sales to push numbers forward. So interesting. All right.
Actually, I can add a little bit to that.
Please.
I actually wrote on that some years ago when this started happening. So historically, exactly what the headmaster just said is the case. People weren't at home. It was stupid to try and sell a video game in the middle of summer vacation, because historically in the 80s and the 90s, people were road tripping. They were going camping. They were going visiting friends, right? They going to Kaibo. They doing all kinds of goofy shit like that, right? And you can't bring this big bulky ass hardware. And no, that just was not the way. It was a very dumb idea to release things then. But as the internet, started to happen, we have more connected devices. They're getting smaller, and all that stuff, and people are vacationing less, right? Because it's prohibitively expensive, comparatively speaking, and all that. There was a very gentle shift on game releases. Like, normally, people didn't release games in the summer and right at the beginning of the year, right? Okay, so why not in summer? Everything we just said, right? People aren't even home to play them, right? Look, we're the people that came from a time where there were tons of consoles, and then the Game Boy happened, right? Game Boy was like it, right? But on top of that, you didn't release games in January or February. Why? Because people were fucking broke, man. Christmas just happened. They ran up credit card debt. Some of us are old enough to know about putting shit on layaway at Kmart.
Yep.
Doing that shit all year, right? So that what has happened is the consumer market changed in such a way where people are now opting to stay home during the summer, and you have cloud options, and everyone has a phone. So these dates have shifted around. The prime time to release video games, and I know that even Nick will go, yeah, this is what would happen. The prime release game windows was September, October, and November, leading up to Christmas, because people were going to get new consoles, they were going to get new hardware, and so that was the time to capitalize on sales, because people have been saving that money, holding on to it, and they're getting ready to spend it. And now we've taken all that and scrambled it the fuck up. Right now, it's like, hey, you can get Monster Hunter in March. You said March, and then you realize nothing happens in March, and it's like, oh, actually, that's the perfect time to release a game. You're not competing against any other thing in the market. That's why we're all scared for whoever's trying to release near Grand Theft Auto 6. We're scared for you. Don't do it. Move the date. Move the date. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You put that game out. It doesn't matter. It could be God's gift to gaming, and that game is gonna fucking fail, because nothing is stronger than being able to pull up in a car in a game and pick up a hooker and get up to mischief.
I can't wait to see the numbers and stats of how many people call sick for that day. Like, it's like
we're gonna see some short staffing.
The world economy will drop like 1% during that day because people are just not working and they're playing GTA 5. By the way, no multiplayer on day one, and they have to download the rest of the game. So that's kind of interesting. So why is it online only?
It's a rough one.
It's weird, but we'll get to that, because this bad boy here, I want Oliver to talk about, because this is awesome.
So, Splatterhouse is a really interesting piece of history. First and foremost, it is easily one of the goriest of the old games. Right now, Splatterhouse 2 came out on this day in what do I have here? 92? Yes,
August 4th.
Yep, August 4th of 1992 on the Genesis. Now, one of the things I want you guys to look at there is actually, can you try and find me a different box art that shows the rating on it? Because this is really kind of an educational moment for the young folks. The ESRB doesn't exist yet at this point in time. And so Sega had their own internal rating system. And so that's when you see things like rated like MA13. Because, oh no, there's so much blood. There's so much blood and just straight up fucking gore. It's insane. This is one of the games that parents complained about. Just Splatterhouse as a series, oh yeah. And it's supposed to be very tongue-in-cheek and kind of not to be taken seriously, but here's how hard they went in just the franchise. In the original game, there was a port of it for the TurboGrafx 16, and it had a faux parental advisory warning printed on the front of the box that said, I'm not even bullshitting you, this is how much they didn't give a fuck back in the day. It says, the horrifying theme of this game may be inappropriate for young children and cowards. Damn! I called you a bitch on the box! That's what...
The gauntlet has been thrown down.
They need that back, honestly.
They went fucking hard. And so the thing with Splatterhouse is that if you could pull up some footage just so people
I
can
got
get
you.
an idea of what we're talking about. So the obvious inspirations for Splatterhouse are all over the place. It's really a love letter to just absolute horror, right, to horror and nonsense and eldritch shit even. The game has been directly stated by the developers to be influenced by Friday the 13th, obviously. He looks like Jason, right?
Yep.
Evil Dead 2, Poltergeist, Rejuvenatrix, the Parasite, as well as Lovecraft and Reanimator. Yeah, just some real top tier tomfoolery in 1992, right? I remember reading about this. You see, now look how cool that is. The fact that he hit that fool with that pipe and knocked him against that back wall. This was hard shit to pull off back in the day, kids. Like, we take it for granted now, but that being to actually able to splatter him against
the animators didn't have to do that, but they did. That's the best part.
But they did.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that makes Splatterhouse, it's very classic, very tropey. This, to give you an idea, this came out kind of in a similar window as The Haunting starring Poltergeist.
Yes.
So there was think about it. There was kind of a horror theme being played with in this period of time, right? Where people were just experimenting and seeing what they could do. Remember, Night Trap's not too far away from this either, right? Like, okay, what can we do with horror in games? And the thing with Splatterhouse historically is that it's a kid. He's trying to go get his girlfriend. The mask is possessing him, right? And it's like basically the little devil on your shoulder, but is now your face, like face off. Just kind of one of those things, just fused to him. He also levels up, very similar to Altered Beast, right? So he will actually get bigger and more broad and more grotesque as he also gains strength. So I think it's Splatterhouse 3's cover really shows that, where the terror mask is actually fused into his neck, where it's hard to see where he stops and the mask begins, kind of stuff like that. But there are split paths as well, right? That you can fail the game in a multitude of ways, not just running out of lives. Like there are straight up whole timed sections of the game where it's like, I don't mean there's a timer on screen. I mean, you do actually have to beat this game with, within a certain time frame to control which endings you get.
Oh, you get Castlevania 2 treatment.
Yeah, you absolutely get Castlevania 2 by Splatterhouse. Now, they did do a remake on Splatterhouse, I believe, in 2010, and it did not go over well with anyone. There's nothing really wrong with the game. It's just, if you look at it, if you look at it like it's EDF, yeah, nobody knew what it was, so they didn't know what to do with it. And literally, they didn't know what it was because they never even heard of Splatterhouse. And two, when they played it, they didn't know what the fuck to do with it. But if you treat it like Earth Defense Force, then it's fine. You're like, it's corny on purpose, right? Yeah. Sometimes people forget that.
Yeah, the guy that in the remake, because I bought the collector's version of it, which comes with a terror mask, by the way. I have it here somewhere. But the guy's like a nerd. Like he's like skinny, and then when the mask talks to him, and he's like, "Hey, I can get your girlfriend back if you help me out." And so they work together, and he becomes this buff guy. He becomes the Hulk basically in the game, and that's kind of like the corny part of it. Is like he's just a dude trying to get his girlfriend back. Yeah. So
right, and that's kind of the point. It's supposed to be corny. It's supposed to lean on all those tropes. It's supposed to be Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, except it takes itself very fucking seriously, right? Yeah. It's not as horrifying as Evil Dead, right? So it's Splatterhouse 2 was actually a bucket list game for me until I finally got around to playing it about 12, 13 years back, and I was so glad I did. Because that game is a ball buster, man. It's fucking rude. It's great.
And I think there's no other game like it. Like if you think about like what other games came out on the Super Nintendo that have like a horror vibe to it, or like competitor wise, there is no like flip side to the Splatterhouse. If you can think about it, if you think of one,
right?
I know I can't.
And what's kind of key here is again pointing out the MA13 rating.
Games right, I couldn't find a MA13 rating on the Splatterhouse. Box.
Let me see if I can find one, boss.
Oh, it was on 3. It was on 3. That's why. Yeah, and 3.
Just that you coward thing.
3 was hard too. Like the art is like it looks like some heavy metal art. It's cool.
I'm telling you, man, Dio would have loved this shit.
Here, I'll show you guys. Yeah, this art goes hard, and that's what he's talking about. MA13 down there.
Like that's the tightest shit I've ever seen, man.
Yeah, it's super cool.
But yeah, that rating is so important. Before we step to the next thing, because at this point in time in history, as I said, there was no ESRB, and people were just putting out games, and parents hadn't even really been conceiving of the idea that they weren't just toys. This was a medium in which you could do a myriad of different things. And so things like Splatterhouse coming out and Mortal Kombat coming out, right? And let's name a bad arcade game, Time Killers.
Oh my god.
are starting to do some pretty brutal fucking shit in games. And it was
Time Killers.
Yep, he had to take it to Time Killers.
I had to say it. But all those games kind of coming together right in that time. Even you know what? Please pull it up if you can. Haunting starring Poltergeist. I think that even has this kind of voluntary rating on it. I don't think it's MA13, but I'm not sure.
I think it was a May 13. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it was, considering some of the stuff that you see in Poltergeist.
Like I said, people pissing themselves and
Yeah,
seeing that
it was
woman's big old thong wedged up.
it was definitely a May 13. Yeah, for sure.
So this was the thing. Yeah, there you go. This is what Sega was at least being smart. They were trying to get ahead of it by not having people complain. It's like, well, we told you on the box.
Oh man, I just got really happy because
Yeah.
EA just got bought out, and this is part of their library. So we may be getting Haunting.
Bring it back, you cowards.
Yeah, the Saudis are like, you remember that game, the Poltergeist? That'd be crazy.
Because the score is this: do not make me pick up that Infinity Gauntlet and go fine. I'll fucking do it myself.
Oh
Oh
Lord!
yeah, I'm down.
I'll make it real horrifying.
Yeah, but it's got to be kooky though. Part of it's like the
Right.
fun part. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
It's got to have that touch of Addams Family to it. But no, this is why we cover history, because there's so many interesting things that go on with that.
Okay.
So moving into the next day on
Yeah.
the 5th, what you got?
I got the 5th. On the 5th, crazy little sequel came out called Super Mario World 2, one of the best-selling sequel to one of the most best-selling games on the Super Nintendo, Yoshi's Island. But we're not covering that. We're covering a little game called Rocket Knight Adventures on the Genesis in 1993. Well, if you guys don't know, this is probably what the closest thing we got to a Konami mascot back in the day. And I'll bring up some gameplay here right now. They wanted to kind of combine Sonic, right? Sonic speed and like the edgelordness of having a sword and armor. And I thought it was a good idea. So here's some 5 fun facts about Rocket Knight Adventures from Konami. Number 1, this bad boy's name is Sparkster. He's an opossum knight with a rocket pack. That's kind of how he's designed. In the sea of 90s animal mascots, Konami gave the Genesis an armored opossum named Sparkster. Armed with a sword and a rocket pack, that alone made him stand out from the Sonic era mascot crowd. And this goes back to like game design. How can I make my character stand out among the ocean of anthropic animals? What was that?
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah, anthropomorph animals back in the day there. Number 2, this was made by our own favorite Konamis during the Genesis hot streak. Yes, the Genesis definitely had a hot streak back in the 90s. Rocket Knight Adventures was developed and published by Konami for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive in 1993, during a period when Konami was proving it could make strong action games outside of Nintendo hardware. And as you can see, it's performing really well. There's no slowdown, no choppiness. And it's actively kind of like decently fast, right?
There's a lot of pigs and draws, man.
Yep, those were the baddies at the time.
A lot of boxers.
Yep. Number 3, the game mixes platforming with shooter-style set pieces. It's not just a run-and-jump platformer. Rocket Pack lets Sparkster charge, launch, bounce, and blast through stages, and the game mixes high-speed action and shooter-like moments to keep changing the pace. So, I always had an issue with like side-scroller speed games because you could never like see what's coming up next, right? So I always wish Sonic was a little bit more zoomed out, so I could speed run through the stage. But when you're playing for the first time, you're kind of guessing what's going to happen next, and it really disrupts the speed of the game, right? And I kind of felt the same way with Sparkster. You want to zoom left and right what he's doing right there, but then you're going to just hit a wall, eventually. So I think it was one of those things where it was a personal thing, but I love the fact that you have the ability to do all these extra moves, with your utility for Sparkster. Number 4, Sparkster briefly became one of Konami's mascot characters. After Rocket Knight Adventures, Sparkster was promoted in Konami ads and manuals for a few years as one of the company's recognizable mascot-style characters. That's kind of what happened to Crash, right? He's not really the Sony mascot anymore ever since he was on like the Xbox. So, but at first, he was the face for PlayStation for a while. And last, the sequels are confusing in classic 90s fashion. The Genesis got Sparkster, Rocket Knight Adventures 2, while the Super Nintendo also got a game called Sparkster. no Rocket Knight Adventures. So, but the SNES game is actually different from the Genesis sequel. Very 1990, because there was a lot of games that came out on the Genesis that were different on the Super Nintendo back in the day. They weren't exactly just ports. They were completely different games. I would argue Mortal Kombat was one of them. Also, what was that? Shadowrun.
Shaq Fu.
We were just
Yep.
Shaq Fu. Shadowrun, you know, Oliver reminded me
Did you
last
say
week.
Shaq Fu?
Yeah, you said Shaq Fu.
Why?
on
Why
there.
would you bring that up?
There was like, wasn't there like one game that was like an RPG in one, and it was like an action game in the other one, but it was the same game? That would have been confusing for a kid back in the
Yeah.
day as well. Here's the thing: Rocket Knight Adventure is what happens when Konami looks at the '90s mascot craze and say, "Hey, cool. What if our cute animal friend had armor and a sword and a rocket strapped to its back?" You know, that's like typical '90s boardroom guys, kind of like colluding. Let's give him a gun. That's what happens with Shadow.
Throwing a whole bunch of shit
When
at
did-
a
when did that
dartboard
game
and
come
seeing
out
what
again?
sticks.
Sparkster, 1993.
So was the first one Rocket Knight Adventures?
So the first one is Rocket Knight Adventures. Sparkster is Rocket Knight Adventures 2. Yeah,
Because-
confusing already.
No, it all makes complete sense. Because at this point in history, again, just fun one for people. It's like, why does this game exist? Well, because The Rocketeer came out 2 years before,
There you
which
go.
was a Disney flick, which
There
is
you go.
about a dude with a jetpack. Also, it has a game. Oh, it will beat your ass on the NES. It is.
But I think the animation was top tier in that game. But it
Oh,
was
yeah.
just, yeah, like the character movement was like top tier, but it was just like bad from what I
It's peak,
recall.
but it beats your ass, man. Like, you're going to crash. You're going to be
Yep.
mangled.
You get me crash. You're not going to attach a rocket to you. Who's going to grab Nick's for the 6th?
Of course I will. Of
All
course
right.
I will.
Let's throw it on there. What we got
So-
here?
For August 6th, Nick had Braid, 2008, Xbox 360. Nick says, I'll be honest, puzzle platformers are not my usual cup of soda. Why can't he just drink tea like the rest of us? But the way that this game dropped in Xbox Live Arcade and ended up blowing it up like it did was crazy. This could be pointed towards as the game that jump-started the modern indie game movement. While everything looks to be straightforward, the meaning gets way more implicit with the game mechanics as time goes on. It gets difficult and obscure. What really sells this, though, is how the game is entirely based on time manipulation, and you learn more about the protagonist's background and emotions than moving a storyline forward. At the end of it all, the narrative flips and reframes the damn journey. Wild. Now, my question is, who all played Braid?
I did for a little bit.
Ace, did you ever get around to it?
Nope.
Really? Huh. So I totally did play Braid. This, to me, now I'm going to be the harshest motherfucker in the pack because I think that Braid is an important game mechanically, right? I think it's a great example of, because Jonathan Braid basically did Jonathan Blow, excuse me, practically did everything with this game, practically speaking, right? The indie dev, right? And he made an actual set of compelling game mechanics. But I also think that Braid is one of the biggest causes of the current situation that we're in, right? Like when we get into this time period, we look at things like the Rockstar game developer, right? Where you've got the Cliffy Bees, you've got a degree of pretentiousness that came along. We got one developer who spent an extensive amount of time talking about how Japanese game developers are just the worst in the world.
Fish.
A lot of racism like started like just raising its fucking head in this time period. And I don't even like throwing that word around, but I'm just saying if you go and look historically, right, from things that we saw on G4 TV and all that, and I think that Braid is a very good game and gets way more credit than it deserves, right? And when I say it deserves, I'm saying, hey, you came out and you made a solid B plus, A minus game, right? But the way that this game was fawned over, I think created an immense amount of problems that we are not going to recover from for at least another decade, right? And this is just a thing that would happen. It was just ugh, like you were. This is one of those games of if you don't like it, you're in the out crowd. Like it was weird. Like I'm not sure if anyone else remembers how bizarre people acted around games like this, for example, and Fez and Portal
I
and
remember.
Oh, it
all
was
that
like, wasn't
stuff.
that the same thing with like Flower
With
or something like that?
Flower
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Journey and Flow and all of that stuff. And I'm like, this is not good. I'm like, make no mistake, I don't think it's an issue to celebrate a game developer and to just love how they work and to give them that's not what I'm saying. But it kind of like it really did elevate to that weird rock star level, right? Where now people are flashing you at on stage and there are weird groupies following the band around. And you're like, I just wanted to drop a fucking fire bass line. Next thing you know, cocaine has entered the picture and
It's
everything has gone nuts.
like
That,
cocaine has entered the chat.
yeah, it just kind of gets the fuck out of control. And I'm like, oh boy, this is not good. It stopped being about the games and started being about the personalities behind the games when it's supposed to be about the game,
Yeah.
right? And what you're doing with it and what you're trying to say with the game. If you're going to speak, let the game speak, right? The game is a powerful device. The game is your voice, right? And people just really in Western media really hyped all this stuff up. Again, once everyone sees the secret to Braid, which now it's over like 20 fucking years old. So I'm not going to give you a spoiler warning. It's called Go Play It. It's like, oh, the kid you're playing as, Tim, this very section we see on screen right now, it's like, oh, he's going to go rescue the princess and he's doing all this stuff, and the time manipulation mechanic makes you play this scene backwards, and you come to realize she's trying to get the fuck away from you. And it's like, huh, that was an interesting fucking design, man. Like he really designs it clean in that regard. I can't fault him. I'm like, that's fucking neat, right? Because it's designed so perfectly forward that you don't notice it, but then when it just comes back, like the chandelier there,
Yeah.
she's trying to drop it on your fucking head,
She was trying to kill him, yeah.
right? It's like, oh, Tim's actually a horrible fucking person, like, and he's stalking this girl. Like, let's see if it gets there. Yep,
It's true.
there we go.
It's true. That was the
And suddenly
was
it's
the,
all
like,
flipped.
that was the aha moment.
And that's what made people get to talking so much.
Perspective, right?
Right, like just the flow of time. A full marks to Jonathan Blow for thinking very hard. That's what I appreciate here, was that he was thinking about what he was doing with this. But then he just says a whole bunch of weird shit that it's like, oh man, all your talking and everything that you did, it just completely kills that experience. Like the idea is to get someone simple to understand exactly what they saw, right? Don't
Yeah.
give them a whole bunch of weird ass poetry and weird esoteric philosophical, fucking babble. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that at all. Just the fact that it's like, wait a minute, from a different point of view. Oh shit, I'm the bad guy. Like, wait a minute, are we the baddies? like,
oh,
turns
wait,
out, yes.
hold up.
That's every time I play Helldivers. Are we the bad guys? It's kinda-
Right. Like, are you sure? But no. So I understand why everything that Nick said, like it changed some stuff. It changed some stuff. And it was like, hey, just because a guy says he's indie doesn't mean that the game is going to be bad. That is the most important thing that happened. And honest to God, like I think Nick's overall valid point stands. I've played more good, fantastic indie games in the past 10, 15 years than I've played of AAA games. Hands down. Come on. I played the fuck out of Gungeon, man. Like those was like 3 guys. I was like, yes, this is terrific.
Yep,
It's
middle
terrific.
market currently sits. It's like the middle market, by and large, sits well, they're batting a pretty high average.
They're batting pretty goddamn good. There's a lot of trash, but when something slaps, ooh boy,
It slaps.
feel the sting, right? Woo! That was a good game. Give me another. Oh, keep doing
Well,
it.
speaking of slaps, this next game, Ace,
give it
is
to him, Ace.
this goes in my slap book as well.
It is.
Yeah,
it slaps. Guaranteed.
So, August 7th of last year, we got ourselves a nice little treat from back in the past. So, id Software, legends that they are, released a port of their phenomenal fantasy FPS titles on all current platforms at the time. Now, while Doom wasn't necessarily, while it wasn't initially my jam back in the 90s, back when it was big, I did clock in some serious weekends on these two other titles and a third one. These being Hexen, Heretic, and Strife. Now, again, this got dropped on everything. I mean, you'll see the cover art showed that, Heretic and Hexen were even ported to the Switch. So if you wanted to do some, if you wanted to do some first-person run and wand gameplay on the go, there you go. But my fondest memories with playing Strife and Hexen, I'd say it came around to just the simple fact that I really enjoyed the RPG mechanics that were actually, interwoven into the first-person shooter gameplay. And then, with that, there's just the simple fact that I think I was on a really big first-person shooter kick back in the day, because my rotation was Strife, Heretic, Hexen, Shadow Warrior, Redneck's Rampage, Rise of Triad, rinse and repeat.
My man said Redneck Rampage. I never thought I'd hear that game ever again.
Yeah, right. Get off my land. But I figured, just this little short and sweet dip back in the old DeLorean, taking us back to the 90s and pulling the 90s forward. I figured this would be a pretty good call out for the 7th because, well, it's just two solid games that now a new generation of gamers finally gets the chance to experience.
Yeah. So for those playing Doom, the Dark Ages now, this was the Dark Ages before Doom.
Yep.
Matter of fact, it was so dark. I bought the shareware version of this game for $250 at CompUSA. CompUSA, you got episode 1. I think it was like 3 stages, right? These were like demos before they were demos, and I was sold. Heretic was like, this is cool. It's Doom with magic spells and fireballs. It was awesome, from what I recall. So
this is one of the FPS games that I actually like. Like I always talk about Hexen and Heretic, just because it's not just a shooter, right? It's some grim, dark fucking shit. And I was like, that's always been my problem with FPS is everyone is like, oh, it's first person, I gotta make a shooter. I'm like, why? Why do you think you can only make a shooter in first person? And they're the first ones to break that fucking mold. And I was like, hell yeah. Come on, look at them grabby hands. Look, he knows how to grab an ass.
I think there's a gun that turned into a chicken too. That was just really funny.
So you about to
lay. And that's also one of the things I loved about Rise of the Triad. I mean, you had the Excalibur, you had dog mode.
It's just, you can tell when developers are just having fun, right?
Bingo. Like having fun, making something fun.
Yeah.
We can see the difference. It ain't the same, kids.
It's not. On them gang signs, look at that.
Yeah.
Like, damn, he done hit him with the Wu-Tang mark. Bam! You're like, oh my god.
Couldn't handle it. Whose is this one? Oliver, how dare you choose it?
Yes.
All right,
we are
send us off on the
got an
last one.
interesting note.
Yep, the game that made many people upset.
And it's true. Everything he just said, it's true. All of it is the most Harrison Ford moment of my life. It's true. Street Fighter 2010. is definitely not a Street Fighter game.
There's no street, and there's no really fighting
there's
in it.
fighting of a different kind, but it definitely isn't fucking Street Fighter. As he pulls up the footage, I'm going to show you. So first and foremost, just for the kids at home, the music here on this stage, all the music in the game is straight fire. Okay,
Yep,
it's tight.
Yep, something's got to be good.
So I was gonna say that's
Something's
probably the closest thing to a Street Fighter related portion of this game is the fact that the music is fire.
Ken.
This shit's fire. Yes, kids, that is supposed to be Ken Masters, and this is what they thought 2010 was going to be back in the day. You know what? Actually, it looks pretty fucking accurate. I see all them goblins and ghouls in the background.
Yep,
Yeah, it looks
yep.
that looks like social media.
I was about to say that's Twitter.
Yeah, it looks right. But in this version of Street Fighter, this is supposed to be a direct sequel. I'm not kidding. To Street Fighter 2. And in the future, Ken Masters has become a biologist, and he's got a partner named Troy, who gets turned into a pile of goo. Right, their technology has been stolen, and Ken is zipping his ass around the damn solar system, trying to figure out who killed his boy, as well as get this technology back.
Now that you mention it, just really quickly, you want to know? I think I may have found like the perfect way to actually recontextualize this game to actually make it, not hurt so much. It's Captain Commando before he meets the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at him, it's basically him. But obviously, Street Fighter was doing so well that Capcom was like, "Hey, lean on our fucking brand, right?"
Yep.
That's why it's called Street Fighter. It's just what it is. They were like, "Nope, it'll be more familiar for people, and we're gonna sell some units." And boy, let me tell you, when it showed up, people weren't happy about it.
Yeah.
So, the English localization changed the name and the backstory of the main character to imply that it's Ken from Street Fighter, whereas the protagonist in the original Japanese version is an unrelated character named Kevin. Not that the hell.
It's not any better.
You don't know.
So
was-
that ain't.
This is what happens when you
that
leave
ain't
him
Cloud
home alone.
Strife. That's Nimbus Dilemma.
Nimbus Dilemma. No, it's Kevin from Home Alone. He got left behind.
No, the fact that the Japanese guy who would name a dude Kevin is just fucking amazing to me. Oh my god. That's fucking incredible. That's the best name I could ever hear any Japanese person say or even conceive of. So you're like, we need the most American name we could think of, and the homie in the back,
Kevin.
he's in his pocket. He's like, Kevin. Like, that's it. You're in charge.
They had to know somebody named Kevin, like in Capcom USA or something like that.
It's like, damn it, Satoshi, you're a genius.
Ooh. He's a Tatoshi. Ah. Oh my god, no, Kevin. I like it. It's clean. It's short. It's not some weird name, right? They didn't look, okay, just listen to me. They didn't hit my man with no shit like guts. They didn't hit his ass with no Luffy D Monkey, right? They didn't hit him with no Rally Vincent, right? No, they named this nigga Kevin. It's brilliant. Like, holy shit. He's the coolest guy I've ever heard of now. I like the game even more.
There you go.
It's funny that was his code name.
Kevin. Oh, God, look. He got the wrapper up blue blockers. Oh, man. Look, everyone hates this game. I love this game because it's so stupid. It is like the video game equivalent of all the dumb fucking songs I put out this week, okay? You're like, oh, if you don't take it seriously, it's a blast. Oh my god. I called him Kevin.
Here's the thing too, like I remember I forgave it being called Street Fighter because I was like, I get it. Street Fighter's popular. But like the game was just hard. it was
It
not
is.
easy.
It is
Like-
extraordinarily difficult.
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, not only did you trick us, you also hate us.
Yeah.
Like it was a double impact of just failure. It was great.
Yeah. It will beat your ass from there are the two sections of the game before we move on are basically the side scrolling sections, which you guys just saw, and then there are kind of hunting for energy. Basically, you're always trying to open up a quantum portal, right, to get you to the next planets, but it requires a huge amount of energy, and so that's what you're kind of doing in those sections there. But there's side scrolling, there's hunt around just open levels. There's vertical scrolling. There was a lot going on with that game. And in the game's defense, if you could get him to do that sick ass backflip, that backflip is sick. I don't care what anyone says. He's doing some fly gymnast shit, climbing the walls with your hands like Spider-Man. You're like, fuck it, I'm going to do a sick flip off of this thing. This is impressive sprite work for the time, and I'd argue some of it is still impressive even now, right?
Yeah.
Really different planets, all this other stuff, but Street Fighter 2010 is without a doubt the Final Fantasy Spirits Within of video games, right?
Yeah, I don't
You
wanna hear
can't
that.
you can't just slap some random name on some shit. Like it's fine as a game, but it's not a Street Fighter game. It's fine as a movie, but that is not Final Fantasy, right? And don't get confused. And every now and again, a company goes and does that, and they get punished for it. And then everybody learns not to do that for about 10 to 15 years, and then someone will come along and fuck it up, right? All I'm saying is, if Streets of Rage 5 comes out and that bitch is cooking mama, I'm gonna be furious.
With
I'm gonna
Blaze.
lose my mind. Glaze fielding.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's a donut chef. Oh Lord.
Hey, and
Oh, man.
and Chad, just keep in mind the industry's been doing this to us forever. Like they've always trying to pull the wool over our eyes and all that stuff. Like
Oh, yeah.
they just do it in different ways, right? And they do it subtly, and they don't kind of like they never tell you in front of your face. And yeah, it's shows like us and videos all over YouTube that uncover these things and talk about it and discuss it, because who else will talk about this?
His ass is named Kevin.
Shout out to Kevin. This was Memory Card Chronicles. All right, we're here in the last level with the final boss. Finally, the laugh so good. I'll listen to that in my sleep. It's great. All right, final boss, guys. Just this week we are covering a topic that I think many people are very, I don't know, I would say hesitant to talk about. No one likes to talk about bragging, not bragging, but like no one likes to talk about failing and and admitting to the failures. We all want to talk about winning because winning feels so much better. But hey, in games, usually when I play games, like specifically fighting games, I find more knowledge and information and get more out of a loss than I do from a win. And tonight, I really wanted to cover that portion of that lesson. And I want you to chat, the panel, to think about the times where you've lost, but then came back stronger, better, and just more efficient than ever before. So think about that while I'm going through the final boss tonight. Looking forward to it. And here we go. Let's see what we got. All right. So tonight, class, you know how it works. You've trained, you've leveled up, you've taken the hits, you've learned the pattern. Now it's time to face the final boss. And tonight's final boss is something every gamer knows, but not every player understands. And that is what I call failure. Because in games, failure is everywhere. You miss the jump, you lose the match, you get wiped by the boss, you run out of health, right? You waste your resources too early, you pick the wrong route. As you can see, there's so many ways to fail in the game. You can also panic under pressure. You can button mash when the game is asking you to think because you're panicking. And then when the screen fades, it just says those mighty two words that pisses you off, game over. Right? Now, usually after that, it comes with a little bit of a prompt. it'll usually say continue or try again, right? But here's the lesson. In games, failure is not always the end. Sometimes failure is the mechanic. It is part of how the game teaches you. That first loss teaches you the arena. The second loss teaches you the attack pattern. That third loss could teach you timing, and that fourth loss could teach you the virtue of patience. Now, and eventually the win feels a little bit different because the failure trained you for it. And that is why victory in a game can feel so good. Not because the game handed it to you, but because you had to become the player who could earn it. And that's where gaming teaches us something very real. Because in life, we often treat failure like a final judgment. We fail once and say, I'm not good at this. Screw this. We get rejected and we say, maybe I'm not built for this. Maybe a mistake, you make a mistake and you say, I messed it all up, right? We lose progress and start thinking the whole run was wasted. But games teach us a better way to look at failure. Failure is feedback. Failure is information, and failure is the system showing you what you have not learned yet. It does not always mean you are bad. Sometimes it means you are early. Sometimes it could mean your build needs a little work. You know, it could mean that you're using the wrong strategy, or you need to stop rushing. You know, it could also mean that you need to observe before you attack. And sometimes the boss is just unfair at times, right? You just have not learned the pattern quite yet. And class, that is a very hard lesson because every gamer had that moment where you blame the game. I know I have. The boss is cheap. The level is broken. The character is unfair. This mission is impossible, right? I was playing MK1 last week, and those mini games are busted and just designed to torture you. There's no rhyme and reason for them. They're just there to make you upset and to kind of break the monotony of the game. Sometimes, yeah, and sometimes the game is just really unfair, right? Sometimes the hitbox is nonsense. Sometimes the checkpoint is disrespectful. Sometimes the camera is the true final boss. Yeah, there's many games out there with all those things, and I'm sure you've encountered all of them. But a lot of the time, the breakthrough happens when we stop blaming the game and start to study the fight. What am I missing here? Where am I rushing? What keeps catching me? What am I doing every attempt that keeps leading to the same result? Because that specific moment matters. Because the moment you stop just reacting and start learning, you become a very different player. Now, that is not just in gaming. That could be applied to what we call life. Failure at work can teach preparation. Failure in a relationship can teach communication. Failure with money can teach discipline. Failure in a creative project can teach clarity. Failure in your health can teach consistency. Failure in your goals can teach you what your current build is missing. Now, the loss is not the whole story. The question really is, did you find out and did you learn the pattern? Because there is a difference between failing and being defeated. Failing means that the attempt did not work. Being defeated means you stop learning from the attempt. That is where playing with intention comes in. We do not just keep throwing ourselves at the same wall and call it dedication. I call that slamming my face into the controller. Right? That is not growth. That is just grinding the wrong level. Playing with intention means we pause, we reflect, we adjust. Maybe we tweak our build a little bit, change it up. Maybe we grind and level up. Maybe we ask for help. Maybe we practice the basics, the fundamentals, and we sharpen them, right? And we come back later, smarter, stronger, and better before. Sometimes, maybe we realize a fight is not serving us anymore, and we just walk away with wisdom instead of shame. That's okay. Because trying again does not always mean doing the exact same thing over again, right? A respawn is not powerful because it resets the screen. A respawn is powerful because you come back with knowledge. You know where the trap is now. You know where the enemy attacks first. You know not to waste your healing item early. You know that greed gets punished. You know that panic gets punished. And you know that patience wins fights that anger keeps losing to. That is the gift of failure. When we are willing to learn from it. You do not respond empty-handed. You respond with information. And that information is part of your level up. So maybe tonight's lessons, you just don't give up. Now that sounds good, but it is a little bit too simple. The real lesson is do not waste the failure. If you are going to lose, learn from it. If you're going to fall, study where your foot slipped. If you're going to get knocked down, ask what the hit taught you. If you're going to restart, we start with purpose. Because failure without reflection becomes an endless loop, right? And a loop without changing anything is what we call madness. But failure with reflection becomes progress. And every great player knows this. The first attempt is rarely a clean run, unless you're Oliver. And the first build is rarely the final build. And the first plan rarely survives the whole mission. The first version of you is rarely the version that clears the boss, guys. So give yourself a little bit of grace. Growth takes attempts. Growth takes correction. Growth takes humility. Growth takes being honest enough to say, I did not know enough then, but I know more now. That is not weakness. That is leveling up. So when life gives you a game over screen, do not let it define you. Read it, study it, ask what it is trying to teach. Was it timing, preparation, patience, discipline, communication, choosing the wrong party, whatever. Maybe you put, your wrong stats on your character. Maybe chasing someone else's build instead of understanding your own. You're playing another person's guide, right? Failure reveals the build. It shows us where we are strong. It shows us where we are underleveled. It shows us where we need support. And sometimes it shows us that the mission we are on is not the mission we were meant to keep chasing. Sorry. That is also important because not every failure is a sign to push harder. Sometimes failure is a warning. Sometimes you need to change the direction. Sometimes you stop trying to win a game that is draining your life bar. Now, sometimes the most intentional move is not pressing continue. Sometimes it's putting the controller down, stepping back, choosing a better quest, thinking about it, coming back better, stronger. That's not quitting. That is wisdom. And this is what separates stubbornness from perseverance. Stubbornness says, I will keep doing the same thing until something changes. Bam, bam, bam. Perseverance says, I will keep learning until I find a way forward. That is the difference. So tonight, class, I want you to remember this. Failure is not proof that you are done. Failure is proof that there is something here to learn. The boss beat you? Well, learn the pattern. The plan failed? Adjust the strategy. The build's not working? Respect. Try something different. The party's not helping? Well, find better teammates. Simply put. The mission no longer serves you. Just walk away with intention. But do not let one loss convince you that you are the loss. You are not the game over screen. You are the player holding the controller. And as long as you are willing to learn, reflect, adjust, and try again with purpose, failure does not get the final word, not in the academy. So face the boss, take the hit, study the pattern, respect the lesson, and when the time is ready for you to continue, do not just run it back wiser. Because failure is not the game telling you to quit. Failure is the game asking you, did you learn? And that's tonight's final boss. All right. Oliver said you want to add to it? Add away.
I love to hear it. I love this final boss. This is quite literally, I'm not bullshitting. Ace can confirm it. Everything he just said is my life mantra. I can take everything that the boss said here and I can boil it down for you real quick. When I play Monster Hunter, when I play a Souls game, I literally come in with a different mindset. I go, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never fought this monster before. I stop putting pressure on myself to win and instead focus on learning. And if my goal was to learn something that I didn't know before, then I didn't lose. It's not a failure. It's not a failure if you were never attempting to do that in the first place. Oh, I'm going to go in here and kill everything, and then you fail. Well, clearly you failed to kill everything. If you go, I want to learn this one particular enemy that shows up in this one section, I want to understand it completely, totally, and utterly, and thoroughly. If that's your intent, then you succeeded in doing so. It's not a failure if it's a part of your plan. And sometimes winning doesn't look the way that you think it does. Time and time and time and time and time again, I get told that I'm good at Monster Hunter, and people couldn't be more fucking wrong. I'm not good at Monster Hunter. I have gotten exceedingly good at being bad at it. Because here's how I like to take it and put it. I call it addition by way of subtraction. My wife goes, "What do you mean by that?" I'm like, well, I don't focus on getting better at the game. I learn how to stop doing bad things in the game. I said, with Monster Hunter, now that I know that everyone's played, and you go to fight your Rathian for the first time, raise your hand if that bitch has kicked you in your face. See, both, right?
And poisoned.
And poisoned. So it's a question of how many times is she going to take a step backwards and then do that kick before you learn to move the fuck out of the way the second you see her step backwards.
How many times is Guile going to crouch before you think, don't jump?
Right? Don't jump, right? The lesson was not what to do. The lesson is what not to do. Like, wait, she's going to do that flip. So if I just take a step back, to anyone else outside, that looks like, oh, you could completely predict. No, I've been kicked in the face 87 times and I decided it's not going to be 88 today. Like, that's it. And so by stripping out bad behaviors, bad attitudes, bad actions, when you take out the things you definitely know that you should not be doing, all that remains is good. Lo and behold, people think you're good at the game. That's it. It's about the reframing things. Mm-hmm. If you go in there, I'm going to win every game and I'm going to be the champion. Oh boy, you're going to be fucking disappointed.
Yep.
Right? But here's the reason why I held up the great filter.
Yeah.
The great filter
the
of the 2020s.
Oh yeah,
this fucking guy.
Humblecity.com. So that's the address to that monster.
Like, look, if you are looking for the Humble Pie Factory,
and I also think they put that that fight in a perfect like time, because you're just getting confident in yourself, and that bad boy shows up and you're like, oh, guess I'm trash. Like.
And so we had to tell people, those of us who had played Monster Hunter 3, when people complained about Elatrian, they're like, oh my god, this is too hard, this is impossible, why'd they do this? It's just a regular monster. And the rest of us that played Monster Hunter 3 are like, no, he was the flagship Elder Dragon. He's literally supposed to be hard.
Yeah, flagship for a reason.
He's a flagship. He is the guy. And then 2, people did everything except the instructions that the game gave them.
They're trying to brute force it.
Build. They tried to brute force it, and they were getting their asses beat up. I had all of my team quit. Ace can confirm it. Everyone that I played Monster Hunter Iceborne with, they fucking quit. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go solo this goddamn dragon just to make the point that you guys could have just followed the instructions and walked away and cleared this fight. And here's the point that you were even making during this. Learning how to change up your strategy. Historically, I hate the longsword in Monster Hunter. Oh no, I can't stand that weapon. Because it's always some weird weeb Naruto people playing it. They always get up to fucking nonsense. They never take anyone else into consideration. They're too busy showboating, so I don't like longsword. And I sat down, I looked at the numbers, I looked at the math, and I was like, because I was doing it with Charge Blade, I was like, longsword would be the best way to do this. And then everyone's like, wait, you soloed Elatrian? Yes. How?
With every weapon.
With every weapon, and what's more, this is the fun part. This is what I mean by it's not a failure if it was your plan. So I looked at how the rotations on Elatrian work, right? And realized that inevitably you will fail his Eschaton judgment. You will have a full wipe. You also can't go back to camp unless you wipe. And then I realized, wait a minute. What if I make wiping part of my plan? Lose on purpose. I can get up there, change quickly between a pendant and a different longsword without changing the rest of my suit, so I don't, mess up a bunch of uptime, and I can continue to match his element. And it worked. Consistently. I started, just going through. I'm like, no, I can take this guy. I can take this guy. And eventually it got to the point, people seeing me, watching me do this live on Twitch, they're going, I didn't need to pull out any weird speedrunner tricks. I didn't need to pull out min-max. I didn't go on no Monster Hunter math. No, I just looked at the sheet in front of me and realized that this is a battle of attrition, and this guy will die as long as I have the ability to stay long enough for it to happen. And then I got strong. Then I got real fast. Then it became routine, right? Then it became rote. And I got so strong at doing it where I could take a homie and go, hey, we're actually going to do a 2-man run or a 3-man run. And people are going, oh, but I can't do this. I'm not prepared. I'm like, you don't worry about anything. You stay alive. I can hit him so hard and so fast elementally that I can do the equivalent of 3 people's elemental knockdown strength and get them to the point where they survive. And they're like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I've fought in this guy like 500 fucking times. I have more kills of this one guy than any other monster in Monster Hunter history. But it took being willing to lose. Right? And one of the most important things that you can learn is learn how to lose gracefully. Or as I say to my wife, here's the thing. She's like, how is it that you're able to do that? I'm like, I've been getting my ass kicked before a global audience for like 14 years in these games. Everyone's watching me fail. It's not about me failing. These people need to see me get up and go, I'm going again. Here's what happened. Here's what I did wrong. Here's how I could change that. Here's how I could alter that. Everyone in my crew was scared. And then when I was soloing it by myself, people started coming back and going, can you help me get through that? Yes, I will teach you. I absolutely will teach you, because it's not about being better than the next guy. There's nothing more joyful to me than getting my ass kicked and having the homies not have to go through that ass kick. And I go, hey, I walked into this fight. Here's what I saw. Here's what I found out. Here's what's safe, right? Yeah, here's a great way to lock this down, and then take them through some of the most difficult fights ever in Monster Hunter history. To be able to take these guys through the final mission for Monster Hunter Wilds, Proof of a Hero, having to do that marathon hunt of every apex predator in the game, and go, we're going to go be mean, right? And to get them through to that thing that so few people can actually do. Not because we're the biggest, the toughest, the fastest, the strongest. Nope. We're the ones that were willing to learn and do something different. We're not getting caught in that Einstein definition of insanity loop. No. We'll try something else and get a different result. We'll fine tune it, figure it out, get it just right. But you can do this with everything in life. Just be willing to take the loss and admit that you lost and figure out how you can do it better. That's it. That's the big secret. That's the trick. It's free. Go, I did lose. I did do things wrong. I am open and willing to learn. You do that, everything else is just going to start landing in your lap. Just like aces. Not aces lap. I mean like, okay. That's the score.
Speaking of Ace, Ace, do you have a gaming moment lesson that you want to share with us that's kind of like this?
Well, I mean, honestly, just to kind of summarize it, for folks that are wondering how I've been able to give, guys like the Headmaster and like Oliver a run for their money in any fighting game that we play, it's because I've taken those losses, not just at their hands, but at the hands of much, much stronger competitors by a quantum surge. I mean, and I say this is still one of my proudest moments as a fighting game player. I faced off against and took a round off of a previous Marvel vs. Capcom 2 champion. But I got my ass kicked all the way up until that point. But the moment I took that round, that was proof positive that I was actually learning from the losses. And the mindset that I was in when I took that round, I adapted it to everything else.
Nice. I mean, you guys saw me fighting Krauser and Fatal Fury. I want to always go back to that because I was fighting in the hardest difficulty. And that is me trying to learn what I can do to break the character. Meaning that, like, what kind of silly nonsense do I do? Do I jump, duck, press jab over here that would make the computer react a certain way? Right? Because I'm not going to beat them because they have input reactions, right? Can't do that. So you have to kind of like lure them to do certain things. And that's kind of how I kind of like help with that section. But I really wanted to share this because this is a life lesson here that I wanted to share due to the lesson that we're covering tonight before Ace takes us home. So, I would say like there's a person at work that's going through a hard time right now. And, and one of the things that he's going through is he recently just got separated from his wife. I don't know if it's recent, but like he got separated from his wife. He just has a hard time bouncing back. So we were chatting a little bit, kind of just, talking on lunch. And he was always like, do you know any girls that you can hook me up with? Like, introduce me to? I go, well, dude, I gotta be real with you. How many girls have you talked to and just asked out? He goes, 0. Then how do you know you can? How do you know you can't? Right? So I said, man, you know what you gotta do? Because I know you're scared. You gotta learn how to take the no, which means you gotta learn how to take the L, which means you gotta learn how to lose, right? Ask the girl out. She says, no, thank you. You go, that wasn't so bad. That sucks, but it wasn't so bad. You keep doing that over and over again. Next thing you know, you're going to be asking girls out left and right. Right. It's because you're not going to be scared anymore. And so that really resonated with tonight's lesson because that was a recent conversation I was just having with them, and in life, like you don't know until you try. Right. And try something different and try again until you just get it right. Same thing with us here in the show, guys. I talked about this on the last chill stream on Sunday. I think Jagos, Andre, you were there. I said, we're trying to do something different here for the market, for podcasters, for gamers, right? It just hasn't hit quite yet, but we're not going to give up. Well, I was talking about, we got 100 episodes and we're going to take a break. And during that break, the team is going to reconvene and make sure that, next season is better than the last. Next season, not only did we, I don't even know how to say this, but I would say I don't know the number, but here it is. Last year, the whole year, guys, the channel hit 4,000 views last year. That's not a lot for the whole year. This year, congratulations, guys. It is not even the end of the year yet. We are at 101,000 views for this year, right? All because we did something different this year. So that's going to continue to happen.
You just call me by my name. You don't have to call me different. I have a name. It's Oliver.
Oh, no. Here's your name.
Big nigga, little feet. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get there, and if the powers will it, we'll be there. But I just wanted to I wanted to share that with you guys, the team. I wanted to share with the chat that because they're here with us. We have a really strong, loyal base, in my opinion, right? The thing that you can do to help is just share, like, subscribe, comment. That's unfortunately we have to play the algorithm game because that's just how it works, right? But yes, in comparison to last year and this year, we are doing, I would say we are doing one of the best growths in any channel out there for views. That is an amazing feat. 4,000 for the year, and it's only August, and we're over 100,000 views. That is insane, guys. Good work. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Thank you for the chat, for doing that, for hanging out with us and dealing with us, right? And dealing with me on all that. Just more to come. And I appreciate you guys. So with that said, Ace, just take us home, baby.
You got it. But yeah, just over the coming months, make sure to watch this space. But that being said, that's Class 83, done and dusted. Tonight we talked about failure, not as a final judgment, but as information. A failed attempt can reveal the pattern. A lost match can expose the weakness. A game over can show us what our current build is missing. But failure only becomes a lesson when we're willing to examine it. Playing with intention doesn't mean repeatedly throwing ourselves at the same wall and calling it dedication. It ain't about smashing your face into the controller. It means knowing when to pause, reflect, and adjust. Maybe you need to change your strategy. Maybe you need to practice the fundamentals. Ask for help. Maybe you need to level up before coming back to it. And sometimes you just need to recognize that a particular fight is no longer worth your time. Trying again doesn't always mean doing the exact same thing again. A respawn matters because you return with knowledge of the previous attempt. So if there's one lesson I want you to carry with you after tonight's class, it's this. Don't waste the failure. Yinsen said it best. You've got a second chance, start. Don't waste it. If you lose, learn. If you fall, study the pattern. If you respawn, come back with intention. Your time and attention mean a great deal to us. If you enjoyed this class, follow the channel, share the episode, and join us again as we continue exploring what games can teach us about ourselves and the world around us. You can find everything Gamer Quotient at beacons.ai/gaming academy. And until next class, protect your time, play with purpose, and remember, know your style, play with intention, and keep asking yourself that important question. What's your Gamer Quotient? Until next time, class dismissed.
Mission complete.
Later.